Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome back to the Lathrixian Mines. In today's episode, our main goal is quite a simple one. Let's get our food production sorted. On top of this, I would also like to test out the power of lights in making our lovely algae terrariums a little bit more efficient. The reason why we are using these over the algae deoxidizers is pretty simple. They are far more efficient when it comes to the use of algae, which sadly is not an unlimited resource, unless somewhere later in the research line there's a way of getting algae back. Right now, we will eventually run out of it, so the more oxygen we can get for the less algae, the better. So what we're going to do is see if adding this light up here will indeed help. It really should do, considering that it even says that these get an efficiency bonus when the light is on them, although I'm not quite sure how powerful that's actually going to be. At the moment, they use up 25 algae per second, and they give us 40 oxygen per second, which is a pretty good deal, although it does also use up water, which yes, is also a finite resource, but thankfully I do know that very soon we're getting ways of decontaminating water, and there's water pretty much everywhere, so perhaps the algae is a bigger, more important resource than the water supply. We even have water up here as well, which is perfectly drinkable, so we currently have 3 rather large sources of water, and we're nowhere near using them up yet, so that's pretty good. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a light down here. So to do that, I'm going to add a ladder here because I would like an additional room here. Not quite sure what I'm going to use it for just yet. I'm somewhat tempted to make this our eating area rather than over here because it is closer to the plants and it is closer to the water resources. And it should be okay for oxygen because we have all of our algae stuff down here anyway. So let's get our people digging this stuff out so that we can use this area. So I would like all of that to be dug out. I would like a tile section to be here. This way the power cord can go down the ladder as well. This tile can be deconstructed, and then ladders can go all the way up. Okay, carry on fellows, I believe in all of you. Also, we should start making things look a bit prettier. I think I have researched... Have I researched the decor? Yes, I have. So we can use the blank canvas and stuff like that very soon as well. What I might do is remove these algae terrariums altogether and replace these tiles with the gas permeable tiles. This way, the CO2 will go down here into our algae section, and it's all nice and clean and easy to figure out. So, let's find out if this will damage this terrarium. No, okay, so it's not removing it, it's just deactivating it. Can I just do that to replace it? That would be a lot easier. Guess we're going to find out pretty soon. Oh, yep, we can. Perfect. Well, that's curious. According to our notifications, we have a food shortage. However, according to over here, we don't. We have field rations left. Although if I try to click them, it's not telling me where they are. So clearly, this information is wrong. This information is correct. We need food right now. That is really bad. So for now, we're just going to have to build this up here, and we're going to have to build some of the rather less than delicious dirt bars, which may give everyone diarrhea, which spreads disease. Great! Everything's going well at the start of the episode. Absolutely wonderful. So soon as well, I would like to see if light does affect the plants. It would make sense that it does, but since there's no tooltip saying definitively yes, it does affect them, I'm going to need to do a bit of testing. Unlimited mush bars, dirt for everyone. Is there anyone here who is a better cook than anyone else? You have cooking 1. Everyone else has cooking 0, and since you have no other stat, which is particularly fantastic, I will train you in the art of cooking. Also, you really shouldn't be doing art, and you shouldn't be doing research. Continue onwards. Food beyond reach. These duplicants cannot access the colony's food. Has our field rations bugged out? Where are they? They should only be over here, in the edible section, which is now holding mush bars. Actually, the fact I can't even click on field rations means we don't have field rations. That's how this game works. If you don't have an item, they don't give you the option for that item, which honestly makes complete sense, even if it did throw me a bit to start off with. So that would mean that it's gone. Maybe it went bad. Perhaps it became rotten. I know that food does have a shelf life in this game, or at least it reports to. Either way, though, we are now producing food, and slowly but surely, we are getting all of our fellows fed. Slowly. And eventually, we'll have mealwood as well, so we have food from all our plants, which soon will be a huge harvest. Okay, why is Katrin so stressed? Where are you, my dear? There we are. And how stressed are you? Oh, I know why, because of your decor. Yep, you have quite a high decor expectation compared to the rest of us, and, well, it's kind of awful at the moment. But we can't focus on that just yet. There's still more things, more pressing to focus on. Although it is getting pretty bad for her. The lack of food isn't helping either, of course, which also increases stress, believe it or not. Okay, we now have enough food. Food is fine, we're not going to die from lack of food, everyone is somewhat happy. Although this poor fellow is now all the way to 19% stressed. Your main stress is coming from the decor, although you would like to wash your hands and such, that's not really the biggest deal here. Everything else seems okay. Yeah, so that's the big problem. You need things to be prettier. Now, who's actually the one who's going to prettify everything? That would be you, right? Yes, good. Okay, then you get to pretty things up. So, the main areas then, I imagine, which should be prettied up is their sleeping quarters and areas they're going to be, well, just spending a lot of time in. So, near the outhouse, I need to rebuild the other two because I had to go back a save file, annoyingly, after the last video. So put something pretty in here, put something pretty here because this is a walkway, put something here, and then probably down here near the farms. However, the farms themselves, if I'm not mistaken, are actually quite pretty themselves. Whoa, yeah, there's red everywhere. No wonder people are upset. Decor. I would like some blank canvases, please. Now, these have quite a long range, don't they? 6 tile radius. They give +5 and then an additional plus depending on the one who actually paints on them. So, let's put 2 in here, like this. Put that one over the plans. Let's put, sure, we're going to put one near the outhouses. Don't really care about up there too much. We'll put one down here whilst they're collecting water. In fact, we'll put 2. And then we'll put 1 in each of these. Okay, we'll put 2 in each of these. This is going to take a while, actually. Maybe that's overdoing it a bit. And then we'll put a sculpting block here. That's a lot of stuff to do, but we're not actually doing all that much more right now, so get to work on those, and hopefully she'll be happy. In fact, let's up the priority of one of them. The bed one is the only one which I can guarantee she's going to spend time near. Although I'm not sure if that actually affects her while she's asleep. Do they need to be in a pretty area whilst they're sleeping? So let's do that one instead. She keeps on coming down there for water, let's make this prettier. Then I would like you to build that someone, thank you. Also need to sweep up everywhere as well, that's not helping. Having all this junk on the floor constantly is making the area worse. Okay, just carry on. Back to just watching them. We have just finished all of the basic research, which means now we are moving on to the medium research. And by the looks of things, there is a lot of stuff we really, really want. For instance, down here we have the biodistiller, which converts slime into algae. We have the electrolyzer, turning water into oxygen. And we have the water purifier, which uses sand to purify contaminated water. I want all of those desperately, especially since water will become a very finite supply very soon, and there's a lot of contaminated water nearby, which is very, very nice. Although we do have loads more options, though. Filtering out contaminated oxygen, which I don't think actually purifies the oxygen, though. I don't know if you get that oxygen back. If we do, then it's kind of fantastic, because we have areas like this with pockets of basically poison, although I feel like perhaps you don't, which isn't too bad since we have more options for oxygen soon, but even so, a little bit annoying. We then have down here, we have the hydrogen generator, which is good since we have hydrogen down here, even though right now, we're okay with our manual generator, but soon we will need more power than just that. And we also have the coal generator, which is good since we do have quite a bit of coal. I imagine that will produce bad gases, though, upon combustion. We have the refrigerator, the fertilizer maker, which uses up contaminated water. Don't want that. Since we are making fertilizer anyway from our poop, I would rather have the water to actually use. Thermoregulator. Cools the gas pipe through it, but outputs the heat immediately. There is different temperatures, and as we go further down, it does get very hot. Not needed right now, though, so not a rushed thing we need. Airlocks and gas valves and such, again, that'll be more later. Lavatory hand sanitizer. Okay, there's a lot of cool stuff, which leads to even more cool stuff. I don't know if we get anything past here. I don't think we do, but even so, maybe we do. Maybe it gets really complex later on. But for now, I think I want the water purifier. So we'll go for that, which means we do need our new type of science, which is, if we go into... Is it utilities? No, it's in stations, of course. Research station? No. Supercomputer? Fits there. There we go. Massive amount of electricity needs, but we'll just pretend it's fine for now. Electrical wire goes there. Also, we now have larger batteries, and I'll put one of those there. And everyone back to work, please. Behold the artist at work. A bit too much carbon dioxide down here for my liking. I'm going to turn you off for now. We don't need both of you on. Maybe actually we could leave that one but turn off that one. I feel like we're making a bit too much oxygen right now. Ah, it's a masterpiece. Decor is plus 22. That's actually really good. And there's one over here as well. Let's go to the decor overlay. Still pretty bad because of all these, but not as bad. Masterpiece plus 22, clutter minus 21. So once the clutter's gone, it's not too bad. Even with the terrariums, the masterpieces should win. I wonder if they actually stack. That's actually a good question. I don't know if their effect really stacks. On the upside, though, she's not getting any more stressed. Stuck on 19% now, and as we put these all over the place and all the different types of decor, hopefully, things will start getting better for everyone. Oh, hello! Our new types of food are ready for harvest. Yes, please, harvest all of those. And after they've been harvested, they grow back faster than their initial growth, which means now you can swap over to Lice Loaf forever. Since soon we'll have lice. Yay! Oh yeah, we can't reach these, can we? I keep forgetting that the tile prevents us from reaching those blocks. I still want to do that though, so maybe soon. Ooh, I wonder. I do wonder. Liquid pipes can be run through floor and wall tiles. Between liquid intake and that, okay. So where's the liquid intake? Is it just these? Like the liquid pump? Draws in liquid and runs it through connected liquid pipe. Liquid vent, an out point for liquid pipes. Oh, I was hoping perhaps the pipes could naturally draw if there's a gravitational pull. But it doesn't seem like it, so I need one of these. Ah. That would be kind of annoying, honestly. The liquid pipe requires obsidian, igneous rock, and sandstone, which means we don't have the stuff anyway. However, we do have the stuff nearby down here. So, maybe then we should keep the water here as our main kind of... what's the word here? Our main reserve, and then pipe everything into here and just break a few tiles here so we can start draining. And then we drain all of this water, and then use this just as a mine shaft. That does make more sense, I feel. Well, there's something I didn't realise. Apparently, the lighting actually gives to the total decor value, so that is somewhat important for the more used areas. Also, the doubling of the portraits does indeed stack, so you can use the same type of decor over and over again to get more and more of the same result. Although, I'm not certain if there's a limit to how many. Either way, people who are currently using the manual generator are no longer unhappy because the whole place is very, very ugly. They're just unhappy pretty much everywhere else. Behold the mediocre sculpture. It's apparently very quaint, and is giving a decor rating of 22 to a radius of 8. So to be fair, that is still pretty darn good. The new room is almost finished. How glorious indeed. So, what we need over here then is some ration boxes to store the food. So let's just put them all along here. And of course, naturally, I end up missing the sodding spot. There we go. And then we can have our microbe musher as far in the corner as possible. Go to the power reserve again, and then connect those up. There we are. So soon we will have food being produced over here. And to make things a little bit nicer, let's go into our decor, and let's put a sculpting block. Or maybe another blank canvas. I do like the paintings, honestly. They're kind of weird looking, but they have a bizarre, just bizarre charm, honestly. I do want one in here as well, but the thing is, these have a longer range. These have a range of 8. However, oh, I see, they can use either obsidian, igneous rock, granite, or sandstone, which means the thing we were talking about earlier... we can use either that or that. Oh, okay. I'm sure lots of people have corrected me in the comment section, and haha! If you just carried on watching the video, I would have found out all by myself. I'm a big boy now. I can build piping. Because that's the measure of manhood now, apparently. Anyway, ooh, a mess table. Gives duplicants a place to eat and reduces stress. Maybe we could use this as a bit of a mess hall as well, then. Doesn't decrease decor, however, do the ration boxes decrease decor? I bet you anything they do. Food, please say I'm wrong? Oh, decor plus 5! Well, that's fantastic then. Cancel these buggers, for now, and let's build some of those over there, so people are a bit less upset. Just there. Tables for everyone. Everyone is happy. Nice and close to these as well, which means I will go ahead and plant one of you, already planted. I will go ahead then and plant, or make rather, a sculpture there. This way all this area is happy. Sadly, the microbe musher will decrease our decor in that area, but everything else is increasing it. Very cramped down here, hopefully that won't be a concern. Oh yeah, I accidentally said that one should be built out of obsidian, whoops-a-daisy. Can I change that? In that case, cancel and rebuild. I bet you could change it, but I just didn't realise. Anyway, you, and... Did I do it again? No, this one's sandstone. Sandstone's fine, we have 17,000 of the darn stuff. Everyone goes off to sleep. Now, I'm hoping that Cass here does get a good night's sleep, because right now, he is the most stressed by a very significant margin, because he had disturbed sleep, and it really messed him up for the entire day. Also, you are apparently breathing in carbon dioxide. That needs to be turned back on. Or we could put down some algae down here, of course, since that does convert carbon dioxide into oxygen. Hence why these are down here, to make sure up here always has oxygen, and by the looks of it, it's working perfectly. So perhaps swapping that out. Or building a room down here for them, actually, would be better. What we really need is one huge algae farm somewhere near the bottom to sort out everywhere. But right now, how we've built, that's just not going to be the case. It also doesn't seem like light is really giving us any benefit to this mealwood. This one over here is not in the light, these are, and they're growing at basically the same speed. I will keep this, because it looks pretty, but not really needed. So I found out at the microbe musher, it uses up 5 of the meal lice to produce 1 lice loaf. So this is converting 500 calories of the raw food into 1000 calories of the loaf itself. However, this also uses up 50 kilograms of water in the process. So I think right now, since we're doing very well on food, we shouldn't make the lice loaf until we absolutely have to. It's definitely more efficient at getting food per minute. However, it is also using up a lot of our water, so we may as well just allow them to eat the raw food because there isn't really many negatives. It doesn't seem to make them sick, at least from what I've seen. If it does, and obviously I'll swap straight away, and it doesn't seem to really be harder to eat. They don't have to keep on eating one after another. It takes them the same amount of time since they just grab 5 of the raw food and then eat it as it is. Also, you need to be deconstructed. So all the food is being stored over here. Currently, the most stressed is still you. Okay, what's your big problem then? Where are you? You're down here somewhere. Hello. What's your current problem? Why are you so upset? Change per second is good. I think you are actually becoming less stressed. It's just yesterday you got really, really bad. You require 15 of the decor, but most of the areas are higher than this now, which is good. Your stamina is low, so you're tired. Is there any easier way to see all this? Is there an easier way to see their stress? Vitals. Fullness, stress. Yeah, I know that, but is there any easier way to figure out how they are becoming stressed? That's what I really want to know. I think it's just these. It's just the needs. Then they all combine into the overall stress, with the decor being a massive factor. Decor and obviously how much food they have. Well, I've just found out something. We need to remove a lot of these gas-permeable tiles. Although they are incredibly helpful and stopped large pockets of carbon dioxide being formed, they actually have the opposite effect of the regular tiles. The regular tiles increase the decor value by 5 for 1 tile around them, whereas the gas-permeable actually decrease it by the same amount. So having all gas-permeable everywhere was actively undermining all of the stuff we were doing before. Which, let's face it, is very, very annoying indeed. And now, I can add 1 more algae terrarium. And that should be in the light. Will that be in the light? Let's see. Is there a way to find out? If I click this, it doesn't show. Is there any way I can see that easier than just going to place a new one? I don't think there is, so let's just do this then. Oh, when I go to place them, it shows it. Okay, yeah, that's definitely in the light, so I will add yet another one of those, since this is basically our carbon dioxide, well, kind of funnel. Speaking of which, we need one of them down here. So I'm going to remove this completely, dig out that, and then replace it with one of these. Both of them are a negative in the same way, so it's not a big deal, just replacing one for the other. Again, we really need a sort of algae farm somewhere near the bottom so that we can sort out the entire place. And I guess this is why we need the gas piping, so we can do something like that. Pipe out carbon dioxide, pipe in fresh oxygen. We're still producing enough oxygen, yes we are. We haven't got the warning, that's fantastic. There we go. Is it worth adding a light? I mean, I could add one of these. It does increase the decor, and looks pretty. Just need to run the power cable down. Actually, is the power cable already ran down here? I think it is, isn't it? Yes, it is, so we could do that. In fact, we're currently powering the algae. Because that makes sense. Ta-da! The person sleeping there gets to sleep in the light all day. I bet that will disturb sleep. You know what? No. Cancel build. It's fine as it is. We're only putting it down here to remove the carbon dioxide. We don't really need more oxygen. Perfect. As soon as we've finished this research, which is somewhat soon, we will have the water purifier, the electrolyzer, and the biodistiller. However, I do very, very soon need the version for oxygen. Here it is, the air deodorizer. Reduces the threat of disease by filtering contaminated oxygen out of the air. The reason being, it turns out, all of this lovely leavings we've been collecting is actually causing a lot of contaminated oxygen. So much so, it's becoming a problem up here. So once this completely fills full of poison, it's going to start leaking down more and more, and then actually being a problem for our minions, essentially turning this area into a gas chamber. And since we really don't want that for our fellows, we need that deoxidizer. Now, I'm hoping the deoxidizer gives us the oxygen back afterwards, but even if it doesn't, I think it's worth just putting down to make sure this doesn't kill everyone, because we are getting quite a lot of it. Now, thankfully, the compost itself doesn't produce the poison gas, but the regular poop does, and the poop takes quite a long time to break down. Our first intermediate research has been completed, and at a very good time. At the moment, up here is becoming a problem. All of the contaminated dirt we are currently storing up here from our outhouses is causing quite a large buildup of contaminated oxygen, which is slightly toxic, although I believe it does get worse the higher the concentration. Yep, over here, for instance, is very toxic, and this is slowly leaking down. It's not leaking down so quickly it's really a problem yet, but it will become a problem in the future. Now, thankfully, the compost we're creating, the fertilizer, does not produce the poison gas, so we are constantly removing the gas-producing material, but we are also producing more of the gas-producing material every time one of our fellows goes to the toilet. And this ties into our research, because we can now start researching, where are you? The deoxidizer. Sorry, the deodorizer. Reduces the threat of disease by filtering contaminated oxygen out of the air. Now, I'm really hoping we get that back afterwards. We get the oxygen back after we've filtered out the toxins, but even if we don't, we do now desperately need this. So you keep doing that, all is good. We could get another duplicant now that everyone seems to be slowly de-stressing, but I think I will leave it a little bit longer, especially since after the next research, we can upgrade our outhouses to further increase everyone's happiness. In fact, look, the room's getting a makeover. It's going to have flooring and everything. With our food issues sorted and our decor issues following suit very quickly, I'm afraid I am all out of time for today's episode. In the next video, we're going to be focusing on using the gas filter so that we can make our oxygen issues a little bit more manageable, taking the air composition away from the base, sending it to a room which will have all of our lovely algae terrariums, and then piping back lovely fresh oxygen, leaving the carbon dioxide in the room with the algae terrarium until it's been fully converted. By doing this, we don't need the algae terrariums absolutely everywhere, and instead we simply use the gas pumps and the gas pipes, which will be a lot easier to use. So with that, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Oxygen Not Included is a series you would like to see continued in the future. This is definitely a game I will probably have to play again once we've ended, and then get everything perfect. But overall, I am fairly happy with where we are right now, even though mistakes were clearly made. Thank you again for watching, and goodbye.